Hi everyone and welcome to Photo Fridays.
Part 5.
Firstly, you capture light. So camera is like a little light capturer, if you want to say. And light comes through what we call a lens. And once it enters the lens, there's little doors opening up, what we call a shutter. And the light will enter through these little shutter doors and hit either a sensor when it comes to digital cameras, or it'll hit a film when it comes to film cameras. You can control the size and also the speed of these doors opening up. And the amount of light that enters and hits the sensor or the film will determine what your photo will look like. And that'll determine something we call exposure and how light or how dark your photo will be. So that is in simple terms how a camera works. And again, it doesn't matter if you're using your cell phone or if you are using a very expensive digital camera with a big lens, it works exactly the same. So we are going to quickly, and I quickly want to show you different types of cameras. So obviously the first one that most of you guys are familiar with is your cell phone, right? So you can take, with all of the cell phones these days, you can take some pictures. It's got like lenses at the bottom here. I've got the cover on so you can't really see that well. And then you have something that we call a point and shoot camera. It's these tiny little cameras. It's a digital camera. You can just take it out, switch it on, take a picture, and that's why we call it point and shoot. And then if you want to be really cool and old school and you want to use a film camera, obviously you have to get some film, but it works exactly the same. This is a good example, and this is one of the examples I will use in some of the videos. This is Olympus OM10. A film camera that came out in around about the late 70s, early 80s. And then obviously you have your digital mirrorless cameras. These days, most of them are very small and compact, and also, unfortunately, quite expensive. I'm going to take a quick picture and just explain to you how the light actually enters and what I'm doing as I take this photo. The first thing we'll do is I'll point the camera. I will focus on an object. In this case, it's you. And I will take the picture. Then I will adjust some of my settings. And in this case, I'm going to adjust the shutter speed. I'm also going to adjust the aperture. Then I'm going to point the camera again, focus. This camera works with an automatic focus system, so it's very easy to focus. I focus and I take the picture. Let's try the same by using a film camera or a SLR camera. In this case, I'm just going to point the camera to the light. I'm going to focus. Now I have to use a manual focus system. As soon as I've done that, I'll advance my film, focus on the light, take the picture. So that's basic photography and basically how a photo is taken. So the basics of photography revolve around understanding how to use your specific camera, whether it's a cell phone or a DSLR or an SLR or a mirrorless camera, and then how to compose great shots, and also to understand light and how it interacts with your subject. So it comes down to this, the exposure triangle. Now, exposure is just basically how light or how dark your image is, and making sure that it's not too light or not too dark. And then composition, how to place the elements inside your frame so it makes a good photo, and also an interesting photo, of course. And then how light works and how light actually creates shadows, and what time of the day to take the best photos and where the light should be coming from. And we're also going to look at camera settings and modes, not today, but in videos to come, and how to actually use your camera in manual mode and how to use it in auto modes if you're, for example, using a cell phone, but also priority modes, like, for example, aperture priority and shutter speed priority. And then how to use lenses, different focal lenses, and how you use lenses for different things, but also how to focus and make sure that your photos are sharp. How to use autofocus, but also manual focus, when it comes to film photography. And then the last thing, and it's really important, is practice and experimentation. Make sure that you record your processes. Make sure that you write it down, whether it's in a little notebook, a diary, or you are doing it on your phone. Make sure that every single photo you take, you know when you took the photo, what settings you used, like, for example, your aperture, your shutter speed, and your ISO. If you are doing film photography, write down the film you bought, what kind of film you were using, what camera brand you were using, and also the settings, but also where the light was coming from. And like I said, for example, what time of the day you took the picture in. So experimenting helps, because when you make mistakes, you record that, you'll become better and better. Again, it's very important to understand that you can use whatever you have available. You don't have to wait for your new camera or to save up and buy a new camera to actually start your photography process or even a photography course. If you only have a phone, use your phone. You won't be able to set everything according to the way you want it to be, but you'll be able to understand basic things like composition and light and focus. And you'll also be able to experiment and maybe find your own style by using something as simple as a cell phone. Okay, I just want to thank everybody, and we'll hopefully be doing a lot more videos like this soon. And this is just basically the foundations or the start of photography or learning photography. So I will see you guys soon.